Welcome to DTPM's video series, Oral Fluid Chain of Custody and Shipping Instructions. Proper use of chain of custody. This video will provide you with the proper completion of the chain of custody with oral fluid drug testing. Basic chain of custody issues. All collections should be conducted, observed by properly trained collectors. This can be done at the Immunalysis website. All collections should be conducted in a private office or room. Don't allow disturbances such as phones, cell phones, or others to enter the room while you're conducting a collection. And then allow the chain of custody to take you through this process. Step 1. Assure that the employer name and location is correct on your chain of custody. They'll be pre-printed. Your MRO, Medical Review Officer, will be pre-printed. Write the donor's ID number or Social Security number in C. D. Write the donor's name directly from the photo ID that you use to identify the donor. E. Check how you identified their identity. F. Check the reason for the test, pre-employment, whatever. G. Your chain of custody should have your predetermined panel pre-printed on the form. Check the panel that you want for this employee. As an example, you may have a pre-employment panel, an employee panel, whatever. You just want to make sure you check the right panel. Step 2. Step 2 is simply an acknowledgement that the collector observed the entire process. The collector is to enter their initials in this box, just stating that they did observe the entire process, and that the remarks section is typically not used unless there's a problem. Step 3. Step 3 is a direction to properly affix the seal on the tube and to assure that the donor acknowledge the specimen is the donor's by their signature and or initials and date. There's some seals will have a place for the collector. That's fine. It's more important that the donor. So we're gonna have both. It's just more important that the donor have their initials. It's fine to put the collectors. It doesn't matter if there's a spot. You can still, as a collector, initial and sign it, initial it or sign it if you'd like to. The remark section again here is just if there's a problem, if there's some issue in the process. We've got to realize if there is an issue, you may want to stop the process and start it over. You can open a new QuantaSol, you can do whatever you need to, recollect if you have to. You want to have a good collection. Anything sent to the laboratory incomplete, torn seals, things of that nature would just be discarded and will not be tested. Step 4. Step 4 is to be completed by the collector. This area defines who the collector is, provides date and time of the collection and location. The box to the bottom right acknowledges how you will ship the specimen to the laboratory. So what you'll write here is going to be UPS, or if it were to be FedEx, courier, if somebody's coming by to pick it up, like one of DTPM staff members. So you'll write in there just how that specimen is leaving you and going to the laboratory. Step 5. Step 5 is to be completed by the donor. Ask the donor to read carefully and fill out each blank. Step 5 provides the laboratory with the following: identifying information for the medical review officer should contact be needed, acknowledgement of the chain of custody process and chain of custody, and then identification of the donor. Basically, this is where the physician is going to have this ability to call should they need to. Okay, Step 6. Step 6 is to be completed by the laboratory. It's not something for you to worry about. It's only to be done by the lab. Now we're going to move and let you review and see a collection in process, and I'll give some information as we go. First, the donor is going to provide the collector with a photo ID, and the collector will then explain the process, taking a drug test, and kind of what's going to happen. That it's important that the donor has not had anything to eat or drink or anything in their mouth for the past 10 minutes, food, tobacco. The donor will then be able to select a collection device, and then the collector is going to look at the device to assure that it's within date and that the QuantaSol device is not blue. Then we're going to let the donor open the device. Again, as they're opening the device, they're instructed not to let the pad touch anything. They're going to reach in and grab the stem, pull the device out, and you'll see that the device has not touched anything, and therefore it's everything's fine. They're going to place the device under their tongue, and really in about 3 minutes we see it vary, but the collector's going to note the time, because if after 10 minutes it's not blue, we're going to go ahead with this process and we're going to check it again once it's in the tube. But the collector is going to provide the donor the tube. You need to push forward with your thumb to snap off the cap. Then the donor is going to take the Quantasol and place it down in the tube, and then they're going to put the top back on the tube. And I will tell you that once they're just going to drop it in there, and once they put the cap back on the tube, it's not easy to snap back down. You can use both thumbs, and you want to make sure that you hear the snap. That lets you know everything is done, and then the donor will return the tube to the collector. Next, the collector will affix the seal on the tube, and at this point, like I've talked about in past, it is important that the donor sign. It's fine that the collector sign. Even if there's not a place on the seal for the collector, you can still initial it, just stating, hey, I did this, I observed the process, I put the seal on. But it's important at this point that the donor signs the tube, because they're saying, yep, I sit here, I did my own collection basically, and the collector or observer really in this monitor in this situation just simply watch the process. Now the collector is going to fold the chain of custody, and this is, you see this bag, and what we want to do is we want to place the chain of custody, the folded chain of custody, on the inside. See here, she's holding it up. There's two flaps. There's a inside flap, and then the larger at the top. You're going to drop the tube inside, and what you're going to do, and it's going to show you on the bag, but you're going to peel this off the bag, and you're going to pull that seal, and it will seal right over where the chain of custody has gone in. Therefore, if it's ever tampered with, it's real easy to see, and then she's going to hold that up, and it's ready for shipment. Now, we've went through, and let's look at what the process is here. You're going to have this seal, and if you'll notice, this seal only has a place that says sealed by, and really that's fine for the donor to sign there. Anywhere on the seal, as long as the donor has signed, you're going to put a date. You're going to have a chain of custody, you're going to have the Quantasol device, and you're going to have a bag. Okay, so that's everything you're going to need in order to get the process done. Packaging the specimen. Once your specimen has been sealed, the donor should have filled out their part of the seal. The sealed tube is placed inside. It's that kind of outside part of the collection bag. And then you'll see here, I've got a collection bag, and I want you to see that this and they don't all have this little mark, but there's a slit here and a slit up here. Okay, so you see, or excuse me, I think I'm going a little high there. Slit here, and then there's a slit right in here. So you see the slit on this second one. So the chain of custody goes in this part, and then behind it there'll be a deeper pocket, and that's where the tube is going to go. And then as you pull this off, that's what these little marks are. You put it right here. It's folded, and then you put it right here over over where the bag went in. Okay. Now, shipping the specimen, you should have received the following items: the Quantasol, a seal, and a specimen bag. Now, as the shipping supplies, you have a return shipping bag and you have a return shipping label. But I want you to notice it could be a courier pickup in your area. Most of the situations, you're going to have a return shipping bag and a return shipping label, and I'm going to show you a picture of those. And then lastly, remember, ship once a day only, okay? And then also, you can put as many of the Quantasol, you can put as many of the Quantasol bagged up collection devices in the shipping bag. So if for some reason you did not receive all the items that I've talked about in this video, then contact DTPM at 256-845-1261. All right, and here's the shipping supplies. And what you've got, and sorry the bag's a little blurry there, but that's a gray bag and a shipping label. And if you'll notice, that shipping label is going to go to Scottsboro, Alabama. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to have that UPS shipping. You're going to peel it off, stick it on the bag, and then you're going to put as many as you've collected that day in that bag. Again, one shipping per day, and that's going to get you taken care of and get your specimen shipped off to the laboratory. Now, I want to thank you for listening to the video. If you have questions, don't hesitate to contact us. You're welcome to contact us at help@dtpm.ws, which is our email. Again, that is help@dtpm.ws, or you're welcome to call our office at 256-845-1261. Again, we thank you for watching DTPM's video series on oral fluid collection and shipping. Thank you.